Good evening. I'm Mrs. Maierhofer. Welcome to our virtual curriculum night. I'd like to share with you some information about my classes. I teach mathematics at Seneca High School. The courses that I teach are dual credit calculus, dual credit accelerated precalculus, precalculus trigonometry, and algebra 1. Requirements for those courses. First, I ask the students to always bring any notes or homework materials that I have passed out to them. This is especially true in Algebra 1 and both pre-calculus courses. Calculus students get a little bit less from me because they are expected to be more responsible themselves. Students should always bring their school-issued laptop. We don't necessarily use it on a daily basis. However, on days that we need it, they should have it with them. And I do recommend them having it charged. However, I do have extension cords available, actually power strips, for them to charge as needed. I also recommend a 3-ring binder for students to have in all of their classes for me, so that they can keep their material organized and neat, and it's easy to find every section because the papers stay in order. First, I'd like to tell you about calculus. In calculus class, all student homework is done using paper and pencil, more of a traditional kind of course. I have issued students a TI Inspire CAS if they don't already have their own to use. However, the CAS capabilities on these should be used only for verifying answers, not for actually getting those answers or doing the work. When students take tests in my course, it is possible that the test may have partly no calculator and partly calculator portions. When they are taking a test and using a calculator, they will be provided with one that does not have the CAS capabilities. That's why it's important that they learn how to do all of their work without those CAS capabilities and just use that CAS to verify their work. CAS stands for Computer Algebra System, so pretty powerful calculators. At the end of each semester, students do get to drop one homework quiz and one regular quiz score. I actually, once they have 3 quiz grades in, they can drop their lowest. And then once they have 6, they can drop the lowest one of each kind. At the end of the semester, students' final exam percentage can replace a test score with a lower percentage each semester. So if a student ends up with an 85 on a test, but they get a 93 on the final, then students can replace that 85 with the 93. They can do that for 1 test per semester. Next, accelerated precalculus. In this course, they do all of their homework online using my math lab. They do not have quizzes. All their grades are based on homework and their tests. Most of the tests do have 2 parts, half of it's non-calculator, half of it's calculator. I will provide them with an Inspire non-CAS in class. There's also a TI-80 for keypad that can exchange that if they're more familiar with that. They are also welcome to bring their own non-CAS scientific calculator for use instead, or as well. They can have both. Just like in calculus, their final exam percentage can replace a test score that has a lower percentage once each semester. In precalculus and trigonometry, these classes are more traditional. Homework is done with paper and pencil. Instead of using textbooks, we just provide worksheets for the homework. That way, all of the problems are there on that sheet. When they go to review, they have access to what the problem was, and they are expected to show their work, how they arrived at those answers. At the end of each lesson, we take a homework quiz. The students are allowed to use their homework on that quiz, and that's why I very much encourage them to always show their work, because it's easier when they're taking the quiz to look back and examine the homework problems and see how they did the problems. They actually can write anything that they want relating to that lesson on the homework if they can get it to fit. So formulas, examples, anything that they can fit on the homework sheet can be put on there prior to the quiz. If they complete all of the homework assignment problems and they show their work and get at least half of the homework questions correct, they will actually earn half back of the points that they miss on the quiz. So if they miss 4 points on the quiz, but the homework is 100% complete, instead of missing 4 points, they will only miss 2 points. I actually guarantee them a minimum of 1 point earned back, even if they don't miss a point or if they miss only 1. So students can get at least 100 or even over 100% on every quiz. They do, however, lose 10%, which is 2 points on the quiz if they don't do the homework. I give students homework time in class, so there's no reason not to have a majority of the homework done. Students have up to 2 weeks to correct any homework problems that are marked wrong and any quiz problems that they've missed, and do a retake on those quizzes to earn a new score. It isn't the same quiz, but it will be similar. And again, that's 2 weeks from the time they get it back. Let me also add on that I encourage the kids to take advantage of this, especially if they earn a 14 or lower on their original quiz score before I add the homework in. So if a student gets a 14, but they've done all the homework, they'll actually end up with a 17. And that makes the score pretty good, but it still kind of demonstrates that they have some weaknesses, and I really recommend that they correct all their mistakes and do a retake. There is no, limit on how many retakes they can do. They could do one on every single, they can do one on every single quiz. They can't do 5 on the same quiz, but one on the first section, one on the second section, and so on. And again, that should be done within 2 weeks. My availability, students can set up a time to come see me before or after school to get any assistance that they need. Just students really should contact me ahead of time so I am prepared to have everything else ready and not need to use that time for other work. As long as I'm allowed to do so this year, I know with the coronavirus, things will be questionable, but I will try to continue to offer evening study sessions prior to tests to give students a chance to get extra help. If you're a parent of a new freshman, you might not be familiar with this, but generally I'll schedule a 2-hour time block the night before a test, and kids come to my room. We have pizza, we have drinks and cookies, and we just work on the review or any other makeup work or anything that students need to do to help them be successful for their test. Please encourage your students to contact me or even get help from other classmates as needed with that homework instead of just not completing the work. Get them in here, get them asking questions, and really getting involved in their own learning. Here are 3 ways of contacting me. My email is Jenna Maierhofer at senecahs.org. Classroom phone is 815-357-5313. That will also take you to my voicemail. And then you could also send a text to me at 815-252-2287 with any questions that you have as well. I'm very much looking forward to a great, although unique school year with your children. Thank you for joining me tonight.